Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine standing at the edge of a mountain, looking at the peak far above you. The path is steep, the rocks are jagged, and the winds of doubt are howling in your ears. Every step you take feels like a struggle. Every time you slip, you think, maybe this is too hard. Maybe I should stop. But here's the truth, that mountain, that peak. That's where your victory lies. And the only way to reach it is to never give up. Life is going to test you. Life is going to push you to the limits you didn't even know existed. There will be moments when you feel broken, moments when the world seems to be against you, moments when the voices in your head scream, "It's too late. You can't do this." And that is exactly the moment that defines you. That is the moment that separates winners from the rest. Winners are not those who never fall. Winners are those who rise again and again, refusing to quit. Think about every success story you've ever admired. Every entrepreneur, every athlete, every leader, they all faced failure. They all faced rejection. They all faced moments where giving up seemed like the easiest choice, but they didn't. They made a decision that no obstacle, no challenge, no voice of doubt could shake. They decided they would win, no matter what. And that decision, that unbreakable resolve, is what made all the difference. Now, let me tell you something powerful. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. The only thing holding you back is the story you tell yourself about why you can't, and you can change that story starting right now. You have the power to turn your setbacks into setups. You have the power to turn your pain into fuel. You have the power to take every no, every failure, every closed door, and use it as a step toward the life you were meant to live. But action is required. You can think about winning all day long, but thinking alone will never bring it to life. You must take massive, relentless action. You must push forward even when the path is unclear, even when your energy is low, even when the fear of failure is screaming at you. That is the point where winners are forged, the point where most people quit, but you keep moving. I want you to make a promise to yourself right now. Promise that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times you fail, you will never, ever give up. Because in that moment of persistence, in that refusal to surrender, lies your victory. Life rewards those who endure. Life rewards those who refuse to quit. Life rewards those who embrace the struggle and push through it with courage, passion, and relentless determination. Every setback is temporary. Every obstacle can be overcome. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn, to rise higher than you ever imagined. And when you finally reach your peak, when you finally achieve that goal that once felt impossible, you will look back and realize something extraordinary. It was never about luck. It was never about timing. It was about your decision to never give up. So, take that step. Take the next one. Keep climbing. Keep moving. Keep fighting. Because victory isn't reserved for the lucky. It is reserved for those who refuse to quit, who fight with everything they've got, and who keep their eyes on the prize no matter what. Never give up. Keep going. And win. Winners are defined not by never failing, but by rising every time they fall. This is a principle that separates ordinary people from extraordinary people, the principle that transforms a life of mediocrity into a life of achievement. Too often, we get caught up in the illusion that success means never making mistakes, that it means having a smooth path without obstacles or failures. But that is not how greatness is built. Every person who has ever achieved something remarkable has faced moments of defeat, moments where the odds seemed stacked against them, moments when giving up seemed like the most logical choice. The difference is that they didn't stay down. They didn't let failure define them. They didn't allow one setback, one mistake, or one disappointment to dictate the outcome of their lives. Instead, they understood that failure is not a dead end. It is a stepping stone. Each time you stumble, each time you face rejection, each time you fall short of your goals, You are being given an opportunity to learn, to grow, to strengthen your resolve. You are being challenged to rise stronger, to rise wiser, and to rise with a level of determination that can only be forged through struggle. Falling is part of the process. Anyone who tells you that you can achieve success without experiencing failure is not telling the truth. Life is full of obstacles, and every obstacle is designed to test your courage, your persistence, and your commitment to your vision. When you fall, you gain perspective. You learn what doesn't work, what needs to be changed, and where you need to focus your energy. Failure teaches resilience. It teaches adaptability. It teaches patience and strategic thinking. Those who never fall may avoid pain temporarily, but they also miss the lessons that only come through challenge. The truth is, the greater your goals, the greater the obstacles you will face. If your dream is small, the risk of failure may be minimal. But if your dream is bold, if your goal is to live a life of impact, to achieve something that others deem impossible, then the path will be filled with trials. And every time you encounter a setback, you have a choice. You can stay down and accept defeat, or you can rise and move forward with renewed determination. Rising after a fall is not just about effort, it is about mindset. It is about refusing to see yourself as a victim of circumstances. It is about taking responsibility for your life, for your actions, and for your choices. When you adopt this mindset, failure loses its power over you. Failure becomes information. It becomes feedback. It becomes fuel for your next step. The people who achieve extraordinary results understand that success is not a straight line. It is a journey of twists, turns, setbacks, and recoveries. They know that every time they rise after a fall, they are strengthening their character, building their resilience, and moving closer to the life they envision. Persistence is the key to this process. The act of getting back up each time you fall may feel uncomfortable. It may feel exhausting, but it is the single most powerful habit you can cultivate. Every time you rise after a failure, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you previously believed. You expand your capacity to endure, to persevere, and to achieve. You train your mind to see obstacles not as insurmountable walls, but as challenges to be overcome, as opportunities to test your strength and creativity. This is what separates winners from everyone else. Winners are not immune to failure. They are intimately familiar with it. They have faced it, they have endured it, and they have chosen to rise above it every single time. Rising every time you fall also builds courage. It teaches you that fear of failure is not something to be avoided. It is something to be confronted and conquered. Each time you take action despite the possibility of failing, you grow braver. You expand the limits of what you believe is possible for yourself. You begin to realize that falling is temporary, but giving up is permanent. Every setback is temporary if you continue to move forward. Every disappointment is a moment in time, but the lessons you learn and the strength you gain can last a lifetime. The key is not avoiding falls, but cultivating the ability to rise, to get back on your feet, and to keep moving toward your goal no matter what challenges arise. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. This is one of the most powerful truths you can ever understand about your life and your potential. So often, people look at the world and see barriers, walls, and obstacles, believing that success is determined by luck, opportunity, or circumstances beyond their control. They think that some people are born to achieve greatness while others are destined to struggle, but the reality is far different. The greatest barrier you will ever face is not external. It is internal. The limitations you believe about yourself, the stories you tell yourself about what is possible or impossible, are the chains that hold you back. When you recognize that the only limits are self-imposed, you open the door to a life of unlimited potential and extraordinary achievement. Your mind is a powerful force. capable of creating incredible possibilities or imprisoning you in doubt and fear. When you tell yourself, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good enough," you are literally building walls that prevent you from moving forward. These walls are invisible, yet they are incredibly real in their effect. Every limitation you accept becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But here's the liberating truth. You also have the power to tear those walls down. You can rewrite the story you tell yourself. You can redefine what is possible. Every time you challenge a belief that limits you, you expand the horizon of your potential. Every time you push past fear, doubt, or insecurity, you are proving to yourself that the limits were never real. They were just illusions. When you begin to understand that your limits are self-imposed, you start to see the world differently. Challenges become opportunities, obstacles become lessons, and fear becomes a signal that you are on the verge of growth. The people who accomplish extraordinary things don't wait for circumstances to be perfect. They don't wait for permission. They refuse to accept limitations as truth. They take action in the face of fear. They innovate in the face of constraints, and they persist in the face of rejection. By shifting your mindset to this level, you begin to see that the only thing holding you back from achieving your dreams is the belief that you cannot. It's important to recognize the role of habits in creating self-imposed limits. Most people unconsciously reinforce their limitations through daily thoughts, actions, and routines. They settle for comfort, avoid risks, and fail to challenge themselves. Over time, these small choices accumulate, and the sense of limitation becomes stronger. But the reverse is also true. By intentionally changing your habits, by deliberately taking action that challenges your old beliefs, you can break through barriers that once seemed insurmountable. Every time you do something that stretches your comfort zone, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you imagined. Each small victory compounds into greater confidence, greater courage, and greater freedom from limitations. Another key factor is the company you keep. The people around you have a profound influence on the limits you accept. If you surround yourself with those who doubt you, who discourage ambition, or who normalize mediocrity, you are likely to internalize those beliefs. But when you surround yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and believe in possibility, you reinforce the idea that limits are not fixed. You begin to see that achievement is possible because you witness it in others. You gain encouragement, accountability, and insight that accelerates your growth. Understanding that the limits are self-imposed also empowers you to take full responsibility for your life. You no longer blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck. You recognize that your choices, your mindset, and your actions are the determining factors in your success. And that realization is incredibly freeing. The process of breaking through limits requires courage, persistence, and relentless focus. It demands that you examine every belief you hold about yourself and your potential. It requires that you challenge the doubts that arise when you attempt something new, and that you take action even when fear is present. Every time you act in spite of self-imposed limits, you expand your capacity to achieve. You begin to see that your potential is far greater than you ever imagined, that the boundaries you once accepted were never real, and that you are capable of creating results that others might consider impossible. This understanding changes everything about how you live, how you pursue your goals, and how you measure your success. Setbacks and failures are opportunities to grow stronger and move closer to your goal. This is a truth that many people overlook because it requires a shift in perspective, a shift that not everyone is willing to make. Most people see setbacks as signs that they are not capable, that the world is against them, or that their efforts are wasted. But the reality is that setbacks are not obstacles. They are signals, guides, and stepping stones that point the way to growth and achievement. Every time you encounter a failure, you are being given a chance to reassess, to recalibrate, and to rise stronger than before. The path to success is never a straight line. It is a series of challenges, reversals, and lessons that shape your character, sharpen your focus, and prepare you for what lies ahead. The first step in using setbacks as opportunities is changing the story you tell yourself about them. Instead of seeing failure as a permanent reflection of your abilities, see it as information. Each setback carries feedback about what works, what doesn't, and where adjustments need to be made. When you embrace this mindset, failure loses its sting. It becomes a teacher rather than an enemy. Every mistake, every rejection, every unexpected obstacle is data that you can use to refine your strategy, strengthen your skills, and improve your approach. Those who achieve extraordinary results understand this principle. They do not avoid failure, they study it, they analyze it, and they use it to their advantage. Setbacks also teach resilience. Resilience is not a talent you are born with. It is a muscle you develop through repeated practice. Every time you face difficulty and continue moving forward, you are building mental, emotional, and spiritual strength. This strength becomes your armor against future challenges. It allows you to confront fear with courage, uncertainty with confidence, and doubt with determination. The more setbacks you experience, the more resilient you become, and the more equipped you are to handle whatever life throws your way. Without setbacks, your strength remains untested, your capacity for endurance remains untapped, and your potential remains limited. Another critical aspect of turning setbacks into growth is taking full responsibility for your circumstances. When things go wrong, it's easy to blame others, the situation, or bad luck. But true growth comes when you recognize that you have control over how you respond. You may not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you can control your actions, your attitude, and your focus. By taking responsibility, you empower yourself to make the necessary changes to move forward. You shift from being a victim of circumstance to being the architect of your destiny. This is where growth and success intersect. Every successful person you admire has made this shift. They understand that the external world will not always cooperate, but their internal world, their mindset, their determination, their choices, can create results that defy the odds. Setbacks also force creativity. When the original plan fails, you are pushed to think differently, to innovate, and to discover solutions you might never have considered otherwise. Challenge stimulates growth. Difficulty fosters ingenuity. Adversity calls forth abilities and talents that remain dormant in times of comfort. Every setback is an invitation to expand your thinking, to approach your goals from new angles, and to develop strategies that are more effective than before. The process of overcoming obstacles transforms not only the outcome, but also the person who is pursuing it. Each trial strengthens your character, increases your wisdom, and prepares you for greater achievements. Finally, setbacks cultivate patience and persistence. Success rarely comes overnight. It is the product of repeated effort, adaptation, and unwavering commitment to a vision. When you encounter failure, it is a reminder that the journey is not about speed, it is about endurance. It is about continuing to move forward, even when progress is slow, even when results are not immediately visible, and even when the temptation to quit is strong. By embracing setbacks as part of the process, you develop the patience to stay the course and the persistence to keep pushing toward your goal. Each failure becomes a chapter in your story of resilience. Each challenge becomes a building block of strength, and each setback becomes an opportunity to rise higher than before. Massive, relentless action is required to turn dreams into reality. Thinking about success, dreaming about achievement, and planning for your goals are all important steps. But without action, they remain just ideas, floating in your mind without ever taking shape in your life. The world rewards those who do, not those who merely think. Every extraordinary achievement in history, every breakthrough in science, business, sports, and art, was the result of someone taking massive action, someone refusing to sit idle while waiting for circumstances to be perfect. Action is the bridge between possibility and reality, and the quality, intensity, and persistence of that action determine the magnitude of your success. Massive action means more than just working hard. It means going beyond the minimum, pushing past comfort, and refusing to settle for mediocrity. It means showing up consistently, giving your best effort in every moment, and maintaining a standard of excellence that cannot be shaken by distraction or doubt. When you commit to massive action, you create momentum. Momentum builds confidence, and confidence fuels further action. The smallest action, when repeated with consistency and intensity, compounds into results far greater than you could have imagined. People who achieve extraordinary things understand that the journey is not about waiting for opportunities. It is about creating them through relentless effort. Relentless action also requires embracing discomfort. Growth and achievement rarely happen in comfort zones. Comfort is safe, predictable, and often seductive, but it does not lead to progress. When you push yourself to act even when you feel fear, uncertainty, or exhaustion, you expand your capacity for success. Every step taken in the face of resistance strengthens your ability to overcome future challenges. The discomfort you feel when taking bold action is temporary, but the rewards it produces can last a lifetime. Those who are unwilling to endure temporary discomfort are often trapped in cycles of stagnation, while those who embrace action despite fear find themselves moving forward, breaking barriers, and achieving things others only dream about. A critical component of massive action is clarity. You must know exactly what you want and why you want it. Without clarity, action becomes scattered and ineffective. A focused mind paired with relentless action creates an unstoppable force. The more specific your goals, the more precise your actions can be, and the faster you move toward results. This is why high achievers spend time defining their vision, mapping out their priorities, and identifying the key actions that will create the greatest impact. Action without clarity is energy wasted, but action with clarity becomes powerful, transformative, and unstoppable. Consistency is another key element. Massive action is not a one-time burst. It is sustained effort over time. Success is not built in a day. It is built moment by moment, decision by decision, action by action. When you commit to relentless, consistent action, you build habits that support your goals. You create a rhythm of progress, where each day compounds upon the last, where small wins accumulate into monumental results. Those who achieve greatness do not rely on luck or inspiration alone. They rely on the discipline to show up, to execute, and to keep moving forward regardless of circumstances, energy, or setbacks. Taking massive action also means being adaptable and resilient. Not every plan will work perfectly, not every strategy will succeed, and obstacles will arise. But relentless action is about adjusting, learning, and continuing to move forward despite challenges. It is about refusing to be paralyzed by fear or failure and instead using every obstacle as an opportunity to innovate and grow. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not those who avoid mistakes. They are those who act, fail, adjust, and persist. Their action is both deliberate and courageous, fueled by a vision that is bigger than any temporary difficulty. Finally, massive, relentless action builds momentum that cannot be stopped. Each step forward creates energy, each achievement inspires further effort, and each demonstration of commitment strengthens belief in your own ability. Action transforms dreams from abstract ideas into tangible results. It ignites confidence, empowers courage, and produces results that reinforce the habit of action. Without massive action, even the clearest vision and the strongest desire cannot manifest in reality. Victory belongs to those who refuse to quit, no matter how hard the journey gets. This is a principle that every successful person understands at a deep, unshakable level. Life is full of challenges, obstacles, and moments when giving up seems like the easiest, most logical choice. There will be times when your energy feels depleted, your motivation wanes, and the world appears to be pushing against you at every turn. It is in those moments that true winners distinguish themselves. Winners do not allow temporary discomfort, failure, or doubt to dictate their actions. They rise above it, they persevere, and they continue moving forward because they understand that quitting guarantees defeat, but persistence keeps victory within reach. Every step, no matter how small, taken in the direction of your goals brings you closer to achievement. The refusal to quit is not about luck or innate talent. It is about mindset. It is about developing an unwavering belief that you can overcome challenges and achieve your objectives. Those who quit at the first sign of difficulty are limited not by their abilities, but by their lack of commitment to endure the process. The mind is a powerful tool, capable of either propelling you forward or holding you back. When you cultivate a mindset of determination and resilience, quitting is no longer an option. You see every challenge as temporary, every obstacle as surmountable, and every failure as a lesson that moves you closer to success. It is this mindset that allows ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary things, to transform setbacks into momentum, and to achieve what others might consider impossible. Persistence is a muscle that grows stronger each time you use it. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you encounter, is an opportunity to strengthen your resolve. Each time you push through discomfort, doubt, or fear, you are expanding your capacity to endure future challenges. Life is not about avoiding difficulties, it is about building the strength to overcome them. The more you practice resilience, the more natural it becomes. Persistence becomes a habit, a way of approaching life, and eventually it becomes a defining characteristic of who you are. Those who achieve greatness have mastered the art of continuing when others stop, of taking one more step when the path is steep, and of refusing to let temporary setbacks dictate their long-term outcome. Another essential aspect of refusing to quit is clarity of purpose. When your why is strong enough, quitting becomes unthinkable. Your purpose acts as a compass, guiding your decisions, fueling your energy, and reminding you why the struggle is worth enduring. People who achieve remarkable success have a clear vision of what they want, and that vision motivates them to push through adversity. When obstacles appear, they ask themselves not whether they should continue, but how they can adjust, adapt, and persist. Purpose provides the emotional and psychological fuel to continue moving forward, even when the journey is exhausting, frustrating, or uncertain. Refusing to quit also requires adaptability. Persistence does not mean stubbornly following a failing path. It means committing to your goal while remaining flexible in your approach. Life will throw unexpected challenges your way, plans will change, and setbacks will arise. True winners recognize these moments as opportunities to learn, to innovate, and to find new paths to their objectives. They remain steadfast in their commitment to success while being creative and resourceful in navigating obstacles. This combination of determination and adaptability is what allows them to keep moving forward no matter how challenging the circumstances become. Every victory, no matter how significant, is built on countless small acts of persistence. Each day you choose not to give up. Each effort you make to push forward despite fear or discomfort compounds into momentum. Momentum creates confidence, and confidence fuels further action. Over time, persistence transforms your potential into results. It allows you to overcome setbacks that would have stopped others, to outlast competition, and to achieve goals that once seemed unattainable. Those who refuse to quit experience the power of consistency, resilience, and unrelenting determination. And it is this power that ultimately delivers the victory they seek.